that was really good to wait on. We waited all day, and it was worth waiting on. As you know what? Does it really matter? Does it even really matter that you had to wait all damn day to watch Paul Skenes completely shove? Was it worth waiting all day to watch this LSU team come out offensively and absolutely wreck shop? Because for me, when you have bombs going out to left field, bombs going out to right field, and you beat an SEC team 14-0 in game one of the Super Regionals, yes, it is good to wait. As I told you, we will be live with you every single post game of these Super Regionals. You are one win away from going to Omaha. You are one win away from going to Omaha. For the first time since 2017. You look good, man. LSU looks really good. It's not a lot you can say as far as complaints, as far as what LSU did tonight. I mean, look, Dylan Cruz was hot. Trey Morgan was on a different planet, going 4-5, leading the game off with a home run into left center field. Tommy Tanks hits 2 home runs. Josh Pearson sent one into orbit. What do you say? Bottom of the 5th inning, you lead off with a home run. Cruz gets on an error. White singles in the left field. Morgan singles into left center. Chervinsky is hit by a pitch. Joe Bear is hit by a pitch, which is an RBI. Thompson hits a 2 RBI single. Every inning, it felt like you were coming up and hitting a bomb. In the bottom of the 4th, Gavin Dugas, which, by the way, the last 2 games seems like he's back to some of the normal things he was doing. He hit a home run. Tommy White's first home run was a 2 RBI home run in the bottom of the 3rd. And then he blasts one off the scoreboard. Oh, and by the way, the best pitcher in America absolutely shoved. Paul Skenes got the curtain call that he deserved. Now you look into tomorrow, you have 2 of your best guys, not named Paul Skenes, going. Here comes Ty Floyd and here comes Thatcher Hurd. Can you close it out? As I just mentioned, you are 1 win away from going to Omaha. And I will tell you, it seems like this team has become really hot as they are 4-0 in the postseason, or this postseason so far. I got to admit, the game plan, it seemed like, for Paul Skenes was electric. It's something that we talked about leading up to this week. Now, I know that the broadcast said that this was the first time that Paul Skenes had seen an opponent twice in one season. It is not. If you remember, Paul saw Arkansas twice. And the second time around in that 5th inning, they kind of touched on him a little bit. But elite, not good, not great. Elite pitchers come back and respond after what had been Paul Skenes' worst outing of the year was against Kentucky and had a shutout. 7 2/3 innings, a complete, just outright shutout. Wasn't ever really in trouble. You know, 1 inning he gave off a leadoff double, which they called a foul ball. Runner gets to third base with 1 out, and he absolutely shoves. He absolutely shoves. What else can you say? There's literally nothing else you can say. The top of the 6th, McCarthy leads off with a double that they reviewed. Then he comes back and gets a ground ball to Jordan Thompson. Then he strikes out Gray. He walks Felker, and then Burks comes up and he strikes him out. 9 strikeouts on the night. One of the only times you can say that Paul Skenes has gone past 7 innings and not had double digits. But the game plan was simple. Paul Skenes came out and he was pitching somewhat a little bit to contact. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean, think about this. He was all in the zone pretty much all half of the night. And then later in the game, he started putting guys away when the pitch count, he could let it go a little bit. What an outright performance. And for what it's worth, Paul Skenes deserved the curtain call that he got. My only hope is that Dylan Cruz can get one. Now, look, we could have sat here tonight and moaned and complained about the weather situation. And look, it was horrible. Guys, it's 12 o'clock at night. I don't want to be up in here. But you know what? I will be up in here, and it feels good to be up in here when you have a situation where you won game 1. You're a win away. So we can bicker and moan and complain, but you got to give it to him, man. You got to give it to him. It's so easy to – this game started at 9 o'clock Central Time, and LSU came out locked down and focused. I mean, that doesn't happen often. I mean, we still forget that this is 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kids. Like, that doesn't happen. Sitting around all day, and what do? They just come out and respond. And you know what? Hats off to Trey Morgan, because a lot of people made a big thing, which – understandable, but the big thing was this entire week was Trey Morgan. He said, "Oh, look at Kentucky fans making fun of Trey Morgan. He would act like a little baby, talking about he doesn't want to go home crying." Well, he came up and showed up. He'd been struggling. Jay Johnson in a rhythm. Did y'all hear Jay tonight? I hope every great player in the transfer portal is watching this game tonight. There's not a better place or better atmosphere to be than Alex Box. Basically saying, hey, guys, we're really good. And if you're in the portal, you need to be here. And quite honestly, the 2 biggest players in the portal, Paul Skenes and Tommy Tanks, outright delivered. We worried about Tanks last week because he had struggled. He you know what you would say to him? We're back. There's not really anything else you can say. Man, what a night. What a day. What a day. Hey, man, all I know is that the game tomorrow is at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And if that son of a gun's got to start at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time for us to go to Omaha, count me in. Count me in. Because at this point, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. You empty the tank on everything to get where you need to go. You empty the tank. Because the team that you will face in game 1, Tennessee and Southern Miss, they're also in the same type of situation that you are. What is it? How good does I mean, it looks so good that you did what you did tonight and you continue to stay hot. There's no holes in this lineup, man. Look, we talk about this team being really good all night long. I'm just going to go down the lineup in order from tonight. Dylan Cruz had a multi-hit game and stays above 430. Tommy White, by the way, got an RBI on his last at bat. Tommy White hit 2 home runs. Trey Morgan was 4 for 5. He also had 2 home runs. He went nuclear tonight. Hayden Chervinsky, struggled a little bit at the plate, not his normal self, but did what he had to do when runners were in scoring position. He didn't flinch when the 94-mile-an-hour fastball was heading for his ribs. Kay Beloso was the only Tiger, if I'm not mistaken, that did not get a hit tonight. Gavin Dugas absolutely blasted one out in the left center field. Brain Jobert got a double. Jordan Thompson had a 2 RBI single, and Pearson hit a ball that hasn't landed yet. Where is the hole? Like, there is no holes in this lineup. This is one of the best lineups that you've ever had, man. Well, Blake, what about the skip teams? Let's forget about that for a minute. You know, and I know, and everybody knows, this is one of the best lineups that you've ever had, and arguably the best lineup in the country, because there isn't anywhere you can take a break. And Zach Lee from Kentucky, I'm just going to tell you right now, LSU made him look a little bit like average. He's not average. He's anything but average. And then you know what was the best of all of that tonight? Is remember when Jared Bear Jones yelled at the pitcher, F you, female genital, F you. They quick pitched him. Did y'all see that? Did y'all watch that to the end? They quick pitched him. One goes, sails over his head. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I wonder what that was about. Very next pitch, he blasts one in the left field for a double. You think this team's locked in? This entire team's locked in. Paxton Kling flying around the bases. Just, I don't know where. I don't know. LSU by far did not play a perfect game. Like, you had bases loaded and no outs. Bases loaded and no outs. What was it in the bottom of the fifth? But then Joe Bear gets hit by a pitch. Thompson gets a 2 RBI single. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but man, you can't get much better. And look, you can say what you want about Kentucky, man. They're a good team. They're a really good team. Their game plan tonight, they didn't even attempt to use any type of small ball, and really and truthfully, they had no chances to really do it under Paul Skenes. So as we turn this page to tomorrow, and I'll start getting to all these comments, but as we start turning this page to tomorrow, I mean, it's hard. I'd be hard pressed for me to find out or to see, like, we don't know who Kentucky's going to throw tomorrow. I would assume that they go with their number 2 guy, obviously. But even Ben said that they said that they did not know who they were going with. But it doesn't really matter. Give me Thatcher Hurd and Ty Floyd. Let's go close this thing out tomorrow and get our way to Omaha EAUX, which, by the way, be on the lookout for a little bit of merch too. Be on the lookout. So all in all, man, probably one of the most, great. I don't want to say it's the best performance you had of the year, but it sure as hell feels like it. That might be the best game that you've had all year, in my opinion. Because based off of you being in a super regional against a really good team, and I know that you've scored 16 runs on this team before. I know that you took 2 or 3 from this team before. I get all that, but you didn't allow a run. Your ace shoved, and your entire lineup just absolutely blasted. Let's call it what it is. This is the best game that you've had all year. Look, we've done post-game shows after pretty much every single one of these games, even in the midweeks. There were so many midweek games, I did not want to stay up and do a show, but we did it anyway. And after every single one of them, I can tell you, as we chart every single game. Every single game gets charted. And I will tell you, I was going through it once the score is like, I think, what was it, 11-0? I started going back through all the games that we charted through the year. I just don't know. I don't remember a better game than you had tonight. I can't find it. Where you don't allow runs, your ace is on point, the pitch count's low, and you're blasting balls over right field, left field. Doesn't really matter where they're going out of here. By the way, Trey Morgan's second home run in the right field, the wind is howling in. Like, guys, it is howling outside. Like, I don't know where a lot of you are at, but where I'm at, it is howling outside. And then, I mean, you go to a guy and Blake Money, the only base runner that was on for Blake Money was when the Polt had the error in the top of the 8th. He comes out in the top of the 9th, bam, bam, bam. And he looked good. Just an all-around complete game barrage of just fantastic stuff. All right, let's start with the comments. Kentucky is demoralized, says Stephen Young. This was a dominant win. No question it was dominant. No question. Cortland Jacob says the pop flies made you worry, but then a wild pitch and 2-run single, you got them all home. Swamp Donkey says, how does tonight's performance rank in comparison to LSU's other games this season? I think I just answered that. I don't think that you've had a lot of really good games in reference to, like, Skenes would be on, but you'd leave runners on, right? Like you just, the offense would not be clicking, or, your bullpen would be off, and you just on the mound, you looked chaotic, and you would win games from just blasting balls all over the field. But tonight in game 1, which you heard the statistic, 70% of the time works every time. Hashtag Anchorman. 70% of the time works every time. You usually make it to Omaha when you win game 1. Maybe someone can refresh my memory, but for me, I can't find one. And something that we will have to, as Tasha Thibodeau from the Real Tiger Nation, I got my case in here. I can't pick it up, Tasha, because it's got the helmet in there. Don't want to, but we got all the merch in here in the LSU case. Signed helmet from Paul Skenes, who shoved tonight, and probably the number 1 overall pick in Dylan Cruz. Got a helmet right here in the studio. Shout out to Tasha. Y'all go over to the Real Tiger Nation. But yeah. Cortland said they got 4 runs from the bases loaded. I mean, you're right. It was a massive inning, but you had, let's see, you had 1 run or 2 runs in the top. I mean, I don't remember me bickering. I don't remember me bickering. I mean, you had no outs. You had no outs and the bases loaded, and you were caving a little. But I mean, they came out of it and they scored, like you mentioned, 4 runs in that inning. I mean, I'm not complaining. I don't know if you thought I was complaining. Kirk Taylor says, Blake, they scored with the bases loaded. This was a perfect game in 3 months. They did score with the bases loaded, but I'm saying, like, guys, you were bases loaded with no outs, and then it looked like you weren't going to score. Is what I was trying to emphasize. Look, stadium was rocking. The box was rocking. It was fantastic, man. It was fantastic. I will be real with you. I was a little worried because I saw a lot of people leaving and people posting video, and, just goes to show you 2 people leaving doesn't really mean a whole lot. Edo says anyone in this chat could coach this team when they're swinging it with Skenes on the mound. Well, here's the problem with that logic that so many people throw out there like that is Jay Johnson's the reason why this lineup is here, pretty much. I mean, Paul Skenes and Tommy Tanks, they're here because of Jay Johnson. So I hate to be a jerk on that one, but come on. I mean, you got to give him that. Kevin Abear said Johnson had his team ready after a long delay. No question. And he didn't even come out at 2. Didn't even attempt. Javon Turner, a.k.a. Vaughn, says, thankfully I was on YouTube because somebody said they wasn't having a show tonight. Yeah, I know. It was a joke. I said we had postponed it because everything else had been postponed. Michael said 3rd most home runs ever. It's flawless. Bailey Jones says, where does Paul Skenes rank an all-time LSU athletes list? It's a good question. I don't have that answer tonight. I wish I did. But I will tell you, I've already told most of you this, and a lot of people, and I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but maybe after the end of the season, we can rekindle that discussion. But for me, man, from a baseball perspective, he's way up there. Him and Cruz. And look, just very quickly, if Tommy Tanks has another season like that, he's going to be on there. Multi-Cool 13 says, most impressive part of the game is Blake Money didn't give up a home run. Maybe. But, man, confidence breeds success. I mean, momentum and confidence breeds success, man. Always has. Always has. Always has. Big J. Cole says, play half that well tomorrow, and we're Omaha bound. Yeah. I like this because Jason Brumfield said, growing my stash out, Paul Skenes is electric. I mean, when Paul Skenes, if you remember, when Paul started growing that mustache out was after he gave up 5 runs against Kentucky. It's what started it all. Brandon Reese says, I wish Skenes could stick around another decade. Doesn't everybody? I wish he just had more than 1 year at LSU, to be real with you. I wish we had him more than 1 year. I mean, it's a damn shame that we don't, but it's all that we have, man. It's all that we have of him. Lawyer Ray says, I wouldn't be surprised if Skenes is the first pick. Oh, no doubt. No doubt. It wouldn't surprise any of us. Josh Jordan says Trey Morgan with the flex emojis. Yeah, he was fantastic night. And look, last week things did not bode well for him. Somebody in the chat can correct me if I'm wrong here. Would he go 1 of 10, 2 of 10? He did not have a fantastic day or a fantastic week last week, but he comes out today swinging. And look, there's something to be said about a guy who all week came out in the public and said, I do not want to leave Alex Box one more time or leave a Super Regionals in tears because we couldn't get over the hump. And he was locked in, man. He was locked in from the opening bell. Let's look at his line. So Trey Morgan led his night off with a home run in the left center field. Let's see. In his second at bat, I think it was the home run again, wasn't it? Yeah, bottom of the third. He had another home run into right field. He had an RBI single in the 5th. He had a single in the 6th. And he flew out to the shortstop in the 8th. So a fantastic night, man. A fantastic, fantastic night from him. No question. So everybody do us a favor too. If you're on Facebook, hit the like and share. Share to those Facebook groups. If you're listening to us on YouTube, like, subscribe, and notification bell. Shout out to everybody that's with us. If you missed the announcement, we are live on Fubo TV. This will be pre-recorded for you since this is the post game. So if you're on Believe TV, Believe Sports Network, and you're on Fubo, welcome. My name is Blake Ruffino, and this is RU Series Sports. Don't forget to follow us on all of our socials. They're above top here. AYS YouTube, AYS Sports on Twitter and Facebook. So thank you for joining us. Ed O says, I gave him plenty of credit at the start of SEC play. You aren't in the game chats. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what he's talking about. Cortland Jacobs said, Ben said there was lightning today. Yeah, I mean, look, man, doesn't really matter at this point. You know, like, as much as we were aggravated and pissed, and look, I get it. And having discussions with people, I mean, it's aggravating, but you got through it. And I tell you what, I wouldn't want to replace that. I sure as hell wouldn't want to replace what happened tonight. Jonathan Conaway says, and Jay Johnson, we trust. Yeah, there's no reason to not just trust Jay. No reason. Kurt Taylor says, what a treat to see Pulmonary's last recruiting class doing something great with Morgan, Cruz, Morgan, Beloso, Dugas, and Thompson. Get it done in year 3 is a magic year for this class. No doubt. And Travinsky's in, if I'm not mistaken, Travinsky's in there as well. Michael Roby, this isn't happening, buddy. He says, let Skenes bat tomorrow. That is not happening. The first time is not going to happen in Super Regional for whatever reason. Brendan Gilbert on Facebook says, the way Skenes has pitched, it's crazy he ended up at Air Force and not in the SEC. Well, I mean, he wasn't always like this, man. I mean, he has admitted that. He has admitted that. And so, look, I guess we can. I'll just say this, and like I mentioned, this is something that we can talk about at the end of the year, because I know what so many people are going to say is, well, you know, we have unfinished business, and you're right, we do have unfinished business when it comes to this team getting to Omaha, winning the whole thing. We do have unfinished business as Tigers and as Tiger fans and that team. However, man, Paul Skenes is just on a different level than everybody else. He's on a different playing field. He's not from this planet. He's an alien. And as Ben McDonald, whose record he is trying to break, the SEC single-season strikeout record and LSU strikeout record, as he mentioned, he's going to blow by it if he gets a couple more starts. If he gets one more in Omaha, which let's hope that happens. And maybe if he gets 2. But, man, what he's done this season is uncanny. And I know that there will be a lot of debate. Well, Blake, he was only here for 1 year. Let's just be real, man. Does it matter? Does it matter? Because he's probably going to win the Golden Spikes, him or Dylan Cruz. And if he does win it, and he led you to Omaha, you know, in the beginning of the season, the thing that we said the most, what was your, everybody in here, comment right now, what was your preseason projection? It was Omaha or bust. That's what everybody kept saying, Omaha or bust. You're a win away from getting there. And the guy that led you pretty much the entire way, if not did lead you the entire way, where's 2-0? Now, obviously, he had Dylan Cruz and other great players. Dylan Cruz is also on that list. And I hope that he gets his curtain call tomorrow. Up LSU's up 10, and he's up at his last at bat, and he gets his curtain call. Or he walks, and then he gets his curtain call. You get a runner in there for him. But, I mean, he hadn't come out of a game all year. Why start now? So, for me, man, he's just up there. I mean, it's him and Big McDonald for me. I know that you've had Alex Lang. I know that you've had Nola. Skenes is just on a different level. Guys, in the first inning, he was pumping 102 in there. He threw 102 in the first inning 4 straight times with a fastball. 4, man. I mean, we have not seen that here. We have not seen that here. So put him wherever you want him. Put him wherever you want him to. It's fine by me. But I'm just telling you, for me, man, I'm speechless. If you're not speechless in all this, I don't know. David Nola 985 says Skenes is an all-time great without question. Without question. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Carl Taylor says the second pitch was 102. That's bananas. Yeah, BANANAS. Bananas. I mean, and guys, the simple fact that one of his last fastballs of the night is 101 miles an hour, and he's at 100 pitches. And he's shutting out. Guys, he had a shutout in a super regional game. Go look around college baseball right now. It's not happening. I'm just mesmerized by him, man. I am utterly mesmerized by him. And you know, you can go into a situation in Omaha, you throw him in game one, man, you get in that wingers bracket in Omaha, you're cooking with grease. Let me just throw this out there to you. If Southern Miss winds up hanging on and finds a way out of out of their super regional, what you think he's going to do to them? Then you set him up to go again. Now, pitching becomes a big deal when you get Nebraska. A massive deal. A massive deal. But you're one game away, man. What was the you guys remember the movie, the great movie? Henry, Roland, Gardner. When he slips on the baseball and comes down his shoulder and resets his shoulder. And who was the manager, the real life manager from the Cubs? He looks at Henry, give me one more. Give me one more. Adam Contreras says it was title or bust. Yeah, for me, it was Omaha or bust because it's just so difficult to win it all. It's just so hard for them to win it all. Chris Vigner says, you got to realize Skenes picked up serious velocity at LSU with strength and conditioning. This was a huge move for his career. Well, not only that, man, he's not flying fighter jets all over the damn place. I mean, he's not catching for 18 innings. I mean, guys, he would catch for 18 innings and then go in and pitch. No wonder he picked up some stuff. I mean, like Ben said, it's not normal, but I mean, at the same time, no, it wasn't Danny Glover. It wasn't Danny Glover. Danny Glover was Angels in the outfield. David said Floyd and Hurd will have to be huge in Omaha. They'll have to be huge tomorrow. Brandon Ray says JJ was selected on TV about what he said about Alex Box Stadium. Well, I don't think it's about Alex. Well, I mean, it is about Alex Box, but he's recruiting. I mean, he's outright recruiting because there's probably 5 or 6 guys right now in the portal that at least I could think of 3 of them right now that would come into LSU and play right now, like even on this team. Like, I love Zach Pearson, but you know, I'm going to leave that alone because I think the kid's going to wind up being here, and I'm going to pump the brakes on that one. But I mean, Jay's doing what he's going to do again. Portal King lives on. The Portal King lives on, and he's recruiting. And shout out to every fan that was there tonight. This is what makes LSU great. Look, here's the truth, and I am one of the biggest on there in doing it. Okay. We talk a lot of shizite on Twitter, Facebook. Fans, look, LSU is a great fan base and sometimes can be toxic. You know that. I know that. But tonight showed what you are made of. Tonight showed exactly what you're made of. Student section absolutely rocking. Hardly any empty seats in the stadium. And yeah, some people started filing out when it's 14-0 and it's 12 o'clock at night. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Beat the traffic. I'm cool with that. But those people wouldn't have moved a muscle if that game would have been 5-4. Not a single muscle. But this is what makes you the creme de la creme. This is what makes you that tomahawk steak. This is what makes you the Pappy Van Winkle of baseball. Hell, to be truthful, it's what makes you one of the best and probably top 5 programs just as an organization alone in any sport in the country. And I don't think you're 5. You could arguably say top 3. The fan base, the culture, the talent that you get here, you can't get there anywhere else. And Jay's not wrong there. You can't get this anywhere else. You think they were doing that in Arizona? He would talk about, we had a super regionals. There was many empty seats. Wasn't one a night, and there was a 7-hour delay. 7-hour delay. All right, I want to talk about tomorrow too. Let's get to a couple of these comments. Chris Vigner said Ben mentioned the tighter strike zone and the juice baseballs, all leaning to higher ERAs across the board, but Skenes is down over 1 run. That's massive, no doubt. No doubt. Gary Busey was in there. Danny says in YouTube, Gary Busey, his character was called the Rocket. That's right. But no, I'm talking about the manager. Give me one more. Bryce Powell, says any kid watching the game that is in the portal is now heavily considering LSU due to the fans tonight. No question. Changes everything. It changes everything. You as a fan base can make or break a kid going to Tennessee who's got 4,000 and LSU, which you rock out. You make a massive difference. Coach Rigma, yeah. I remember him. Let the big dog eat. Travis Tucker says, for an athlete, LSU could be the place to be. Oh, no question it's the place to be. And look, there are a lot of places like that. So look, we're going to go around the super regionals as well. I'll pull up these scores here in just a minute, give you the updates. Look, just very quickly, though, Wake Forest got in a dogfight today with Alabama, and they threw their 2 best pitchers on the day. I really hope that game goes to 3. As much crap as I talked about Wake Forest this year, Bama hung in there right there with them. And meanwhile, LSU's doing what they're doing. Meanwhile, LSU's kicking ass and taking names. Let's transition to tomorrow very quickly. I don't think that there's anything. Look, I don't think that there's anything else that you can really say. If your bats are going to stay this hot, which, look, normally you don't stay this kind of hot, but you can. If you stay hot, I think Ty Floyd and Thatcher Hurd do what they need to do and close the door for you. Like I mentioned this week in our projections and what I thought this series was going to come down to. I obviously thought you were going to win game 1 with Skenes on the mound. Didn't realize it would look like it did. Had a little bit of worries just due to the fact that they got to him the first time around. But I think tomorrow, man, you're just playing with such massive momentum. You're playing with so much momentum. When your 9-hole guy, even though he's hitting 250 and the stats lie to you, he's ripping the hell out of the ball. And look, there was the K by Pearson in the 5th. So Pearson led off the inning with that home run to right field, but he struck out to end the inning. Guys, I wrote this down. He saw 12 pitches at that at-bat. 12 pitches in that at-bat. So when Jay goes up to the podium and says that Josh Pearson takes massive major league at-bats and I trust him, and again, there's just not a hole. Here's the thing. Kentucky's got things they got to fix. And if they can find a way to get a runner on, if Ty Floyd starts slipping here and there, they're going to play small ball. Your defense has got to show up again tonight. And look, outside of the Ben DePault error and Dylan Cruz slipping on a very wet grass field, I mean, the wind was howling and you had some blunders, but it didn't come back to hurt you because you were locked in. And so defensively tomorrow, you're going to have to be, in my opinion, you're going to have to be locked in and do some good things. You know what a big thing for me was, and what really made me start feeling good, I know that I put this on Twitter, but in the top of the third, Skenes gives in that, or Skenes gives up that chopper infield single, and then 2 pitches later, he gets a 4-6-3 double play. And LSU has not been successful turning double plays this year. Then gets a pop out to Gavin Dugas in the inning. You look good tonight in the field. Just got to be just as sharp tomorrow, because Kentucky is going to come out and look. They are a dog or a cat, if you will, pun intended. They are a cat backed into a corner. They are a fighter that is on the ropes. Y'all said it all in the comments tonight. I've seen so many of you in the comments tonight saying how demoralized they are. Hell yeah, they're demoralized. They're on the ropes. Now you got to finish the knockout. And what if the Ty Floyd that's shown up the last couple of weeks shows up, guys, you're going to Omaha. You're going to Omaha. And I have a lot of faith in Ty Floyd. There's a reason he hasn't lost a game all year. Literally has not lost a game all year. I don't think the first game that he's going to lose is going to be in the Supers. Now, can I be wrong? Okay. But that ain't happening, man. That ain't happening. That ain't happening. And you know what? You know what else is something that I had not mentioned. And I thought that Tom Hart on the call tonight for ESPN made it a great analogy with this. I mean, look, is it the David and Goliath? Are the players different? Yes. Is it the coaches different? Yes. But LSU's been here before as a program. And it takes a special group to change history. I don't know if I just don't know if Kentucky has it, because they can't go out there and outslug LSU. They can't go out there and outslug them. They're going to have to piece hits hit by hit. Can they do it? Yeah. I mean, they've done it before against you. And look, and you run ruled them the first time. Yeah. You're just playing on a different level than you did in April. LSU's just playing on a different level than they did in April. Right now. Right now, they're just. It just feels like they're just a completely different team to me. Even from really Hoover. Even really from Hoover. Because, man, look, I'm just looking at the lineup. Again, I've said this 4 times tonight. I'm looking at it. Cruz, White, Morgan, Stravinsky, Beloso, Dugas, Joubert, Thompson, Pearson. There's not a hole in it. Like, they put so much, and they don't even have to do anything. They put that much pressure on you. I mean, they don't even have, All right, let's get to a couple of comments here. Tick on YouTube says exactly, and folks have been waiting since this morning. Could care less. Could care less. Tonight, this is Chad on Facebook, says tonight attendance was 12,400, even after a 7-hour delay. The other 7 super regionals averaged 5,600 today. Do we hold that many people? I'm not saying you're wrong. Just capacity. I'm not saying you're wrong. Just, well, it says capacity is 10,326. Would that be a record? Would that be a record? It's a lot of people, man. It's a lot of people. Tig says LSU was on cruise control at the beginning of the season, fell asleep at the wheel, late April, mid-May, and now they're stepping their foot heavy on that gas pedal. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Penn Jones says we had over 13,000 earlier this year. We did against Kentucky. We did against Tennessee. That's right. You're right. Ryan in the chat says Ty Floyd needs to pitch 5 shutout innings and we're Omaha bound. I don't even think he's got to do that. Not if this lineup stays this hot. He doesn't. But you would hope that he does. Brett B on YouTube says this team is like watching the 95 team if they had Ben McDonald pitching. It's a good comparison. Gorilla Ball is the best baseball. That's a good analogy. It's a really good analogy. Chris Vigner says, honestly, tomorrow you won't see the Johnny bullpen guys. You'll face the best pitching for 9 innings. It's win or go home. Yeah, and really and truthfully, Chris, you're going to see that from LSU too. You're not. I don't unless you get massively up and want to get some guys some work here. You're not going to see Johnny Holstaff from LSU either. I mean, at worst, what you would love to have happen is Floyd give you at worst 5 innings, hell maybe 6, and then Hurd comes in and gives you 4, and then you go from there. At least that's what I would want to happen, because I don't want to get in a game 3 scenario. I never want to be in a elimination game scenario. Never. Go put them out. Okay. Just making sure. They have so let's do this. Let me get to these I want to just make sure that we touch on the super regional win losses and who has already gotten there. All right, let me just mention this already. So Wake Forest leads Alabama 1-0 in their super regional. Florida has already punched their ticket. Stanford loses as Texas comes all the way back. Texas has taken a 1-0 lead in that series. The series between Virginia and Duke, that one is tied at 1. LSU, already leads. Oral Roberts, if you weren't paying attention, Oral Roberts walked it off against Oregon. And back-to-back nights, those games have been walk-offs. First was Oregon, and then Oral Roberts. That game that series is tied at 1. We don't have a finale, or we don't have a final for Game 1 against Southern Miss in Tennessee. If I'm not mistaken, that will start at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow, as they will pick up Game 1, and then they'll play Game 2 later on in the evening. And the TCU Horned Frogs have also punched their ticket. So 2 teams have punched their ticket to Omaha, one being Florida and one being TCU. So a lot of games will more than likely be wrapped up tomorrow. But we are 2-0 so far in our super regional picks. If you listen to us on Wednesday, we picked TCU and Florida to advance in 2 games. I will give you a little nugget here. I did take Florida, TCU, Wake Forest, because if you remember, we said Alabama in 3, and Virginia all to win today in a little parlay. And by the way, we did put $50 on LSU, but I did not think that today's game was going to go on, but it's really lovely. Really lovely. Dwayne D says Johnson bringing back Gorillas to smash Gorilla Balls for Paul bringing in 160-pound small ball defensive little pop-up guys. I mean, in fairness, Dylan Cruz might be the best that's ever put on that uniform. I mean, Joe Bear doesn't suck. Beloso doesn't really suck. Morgan does not suck. I get what you're saying, but I mean, Gavin Dugas doesn't suck. Let's look at Pulmonary's guys. Cruz, Morgan, Travinsky, Beloso, Dugas, Joe Bear, Thompson, Pearson. All of them signed under Maneri. All of them signed under Maneri. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry, Jordan. I'm not bringing that up. Brandon Reese said, guys, we don't need it. You don't need to come in here and talk about other media people. Brandon Reese says it would be nice if we shut them out again tomorrow. Hell yeah, it'd be nice. Hell yeah, it'd be nice. Chad Michael says Stanford choked. Yeah, like their name was Zion. I'm not going to be petty. I mean, it's 12:40 in the morning, y'all. And we got a crap load of people in here. Carter Harris says tonight we had over 12,000. I love it. I love it. How about this? How about this? Why don't y'all give me your score predictions for tomorrow? Because we're hoping. Now, this is granted that we obviously win tomorrow as LSU fans and get to Omaha. We're going to be trying to get some merch out tomorrow, starting tomorrow, if LSU were to win. Give me your score predictions for tomorrow, and maybe I'll send you a little shirt. Give me your score predictions. Remember your score predictions, and then take screenshots of them and then send them to me. All right, let's get to a couple of them. Chris says 8-5 Tigers. Jimmy Moore says 7-3. 5-4 says Swamp Donkey. Ian says 8-2. PC 9-4. 9-2 Penn Jones. All right, these are coming in way too hot. I'm not going to be able to read all these. But just fire them in. Take a screenshot of your score picks. Come back in the chat tomorrow, and if you get close, we'll send you a shirt. We'll send you a shirt. Yeah, we're excited about it. It's my buddy Todd. He's going to be taking over it. He's going to be doing all of our marketing and merch stuff. So looking forward and glad to bring in our buddy Todd Kepper on with us. G. McGeezy says, McGeezy says, you know what time the game is tomorrow, Blake? Yeah, 5 o'clock. 5. Well, it's supposed to be 5 p.m. tomorrow. Supposed to be. Supposed to be. This is Jay Johnson. Let me just read this because he said this about the game tonight. He says, I'm very comfortable with the process of what happened tonight. He's talking about the weather delay. Look, I mean, I'm not going to rip on Jay Johnson for. I can't do it. Yeah, so the game's tomorrow, 11 p.m. or 11 a.m. Central Standard Time for Tennessee and Southern Miss. Virginia and Duke round out their series at 11 as well. Wake Forest and Alabama, they're also at 11. Tennessee and Southern Miss, the second game will be at 2 p.m. Central Time on ESPN. LSU and Kentucky will be at 5 p.m. In Alex Box. Oral Roberts and Oregon at 5 as well. And then Texas and Stanford at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time to hopefully wrap that all up. Let's just hope that we do not have another delay. Let's just hope that we do not have a better delay. I don't know if that's how y'all feel, but that's how I feel. That's how I feel. We got a text line in here. Says, Blake, I know that you're live, but if Guidry can be good, how much does this team remind you of 2009 Mashers with an ace and a closer? Well, if Gavin Guidry can close like, I mean, Matty Ott and those boys did. I mean, if he can be that shut down, I don't think that he can't. I mean, he hadn't shown that he could be yet. He hadn't shown that he can be, but I mean, he's got the stuff to be. He's got the stuff to be. So we'll see. But I mean, this team just feels really like they're connecting on all levels. I felt that way last week, but I was so goddamn nervous to say it out loud because I didn't want to jinx us. But I mean, now you've seen it. I mean, you've seen it 4 times. I mean, they're 4-0 in the real postseason, and they're killing the ball, man. They're absolutely destroying the baseball. I mean, so when we get off of here tonight, I mean, as we get off of the show tonight, I'm going to go back and watch it. Go lay in my bed, have my wife yell at me. Hopefully I don't wake up the kids, and go rewatch it, and then go from there. Jordan, thank you so much for the super chat. He sends $9.99 via super chat. Says, keep doing what you do. Yeah, we'll be here live tomorrow again, barring something crazy happening. I mean, if we're here, I mean, guys, it's 12:45 at night. It's 12:45 at night, and we're still going strong. Still going strong. Charles also says, what's up with Wes? He's still coaching. Oh, yeah, hell yeah. Y'all didn't see? Hey, there was one pitch. I think it was in the 6th. They did not call a strike, and Jay Johnson had to kind of tell Wes to kind of calm down. Did y'all see Wes blow up when they didn't give Paul Skenes that last strike? It was one of the strikeouts he should have gotten. He wound up, I think, being a ground out. But Wes Johnson was going ballistic. He was going ballistic in the dugout. And look, I got to tell you, man, as a coach that is leaving and going somewhere else, for him to just absolutely lose his shizite. I mean, that man lost his bananas. I'm pretty sure it was in the 6th. If you watch the TV copy, you guys are going to remember. You're going to remember what I'm talking about. I mean, that man was beat red. I mean, I don't have red in the studio because I hate Clemson. I mean, I hate Alabama so bad, I don't even want to get close. I mean, that man was redder than a tomato. I mean, Wes was red. His face was redder than a tomato. That man was pissed. I mean, gotta give it to him, man. All right, a couple more before we roll out of here. It's getting late, really late. Did he really pass away, Penn? He said, Penn Jones says condolences to the family ESPN announcer who died today. He really died? Man. Whew. Ian says, yeah, Wes was really pissed on that no call. He was livid. And look, he ain't got no real reason to be livid. I mean, but the man wants a natty. I mean, he's talked about that religiously. Chad Michael says, did they announce the analytics on Tanks' home run? I did see something down here. Now, I don't know how true this is. Let's see. Blake Duce says, just reported that White's home run and landed in Tiger State. Okay. And went through the uprights. So they gave LSU another 3 runs. I mean, I think Tom Hart said it was over 450 feet, but that doesn't sound right. I mean, maybe it was. I mean, he went over the scoreboard. Maybe it did. Maybe it did. All right, guys, it's damn near 1 o'clock in this hoe. My big ass going to sleep. But we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to hit the like and share. Don't be a Rudy Poo. Hit the like and share. See you tomorrow. Peace.